Hey guys and gals, welcome to day number 3 of your 7-day JavaScript adventure. I hope you took a shot at the assignment from day 2, Loopy Story Generator. If not, pause the video, stretch your legs and your mind, see if you can knock it out, and then come back. Alright, so this is what I chose to do for the Mad Libs assignment, Loopy Stories. I'm storing a random story, which is just the same story of Paul Revere that I used for the original Mad Libs assignment. I store it into this variable random story, and we console log it out. I'm just going to play this so you can see what happens. If I keep hitting play, if you notice, little things change, like a grouchy show becomes a abnormal slime. Maryland becomes Alaska. Alaska becomes Massachusetts. All these little things. I didn't implement nationality or liquid. I'm going to show you how I implemented the other random types of words, and then we'll look at how we could implement a random nationality. So first I wrote this function, get random item, and this is just going to take an array, any array that we pass into this function, and it will return a random item from it. And so on the right, I'm just going to demonstrate this, get random item, and I'll make an array, and I'll just put A, B, C, close the array, close the function call, hit enter. It shows A, B, B. Every time I do it, we get a random item from that array. And so the way this works is first, we get the length of the array. And actually, I use const here. You can use var. Const is the same thing as var, except you can't reassign it to another value. So get the length of our array, items.length, and then we need to get a random item. So we need a random index from that array. And the way I did it was get a random number times the number of items in the array, and then just use math.floor, because remember, math.random is going to give us a floating point number. Multiply that by length, we're going to have something like 4.23 whatever. And we use the math.floor function to make that an integer. So it's an index for our array, and we return that item from the array. So try to write this out and use it in your own code. And now here's my story of Paul Revere. It looks very much like the function from yesterday. I cut out the second half of the story, and you can see instead of passing in arguments here, notice the arguments are empty. And instead of variables, I'm actually calling functions. So this state function gives me a random state. Adjective gives me a random adjective. Noun gives me a random noun. If you remember, last time my parameters looked like noun 1, noun 2. Well, now I don't need that, and I don't need different noun functions. I have one noun function that I can use in multiple places, and each time it's called, I get a random noun. So that's an important thing to note. We can call JavaScript functions anywhere. That's why I'm calling it inside the string concatenation. However, it is called each time. So if a function returns different values all the time, then it's going to return a different value here than it does here. All right, and I'm going to show you how I made it do that. So here's the state function. All right, let me run this. Over on the right, I'm just going to call the state function. You see every time I call it, I'm getting a random state. And the way I did that was I just created an array called states. If I expand the array, you'll see it goes a bunch of lines, and that's why I closed it up with this little button here on the left. So basically I just have an array of states, and I'm just using my getRandomItem function to return a random state. And all these functions, verb, noun, adverb, they do the exact same thing. So I actually kept the wording the same in each function. They look almost the same so that you can see I'm using a pattern here. And again, we could use var instead of const here. So the words, I just have a huge array of verbs, and then wherever it ends at the end of the function, it's just returning a random verb from the words array. So if we go to the bottom here, we can see the type of liquid function and the nationality function. Nationality is called here, type of liquid here. If I run this, we see they're just returning a string. Each one returns a string. There's no randomness, and that's because I didn't implement them. If I was going to implement them, it would look like this. So I'd make an array that holds type of liquids. We could have water, juice, soda, milk. You get the idea. And then from the function, we want to return a random item. And so we call getRandomItem with the words array. And this would be the same as if we wanted to get the item first, set it to a variable, and then we could return the variable. It'll return that value. And we can see right here, type of liquid has changed. Awesome. Remember, there is more than one way to skin a code assignment. So if you have any questions or different solutions, feel free to send them my way.